So this is a ordinary laptop. This is the software that you would have downloaded and installed. Don't open it yet. This is Ableton Live. This is a set of pads from Korg, and this is actually available at City Music for probably about 70 or 80 bucks.
Yeah.
It is the most affordable set of pads we have ever seen. And you can buy more fancy ones, more complicated ones. Also, if you find that you like it or you like the shape. So, the first thing that you want to do when the pads are connected and in Ableton Live, and afterwards you will have hands-on time. So, the Xco will help you if you are not sure. That in the top left corner, there is a set of drums, and from these drums you can choose. Sean, is my sound on? Yeah, clearly it is on. We can choose an electronic set. It's called the 909, or we can choose a live set, which is the LD, live drums. Okay, so I'm going to choose the live drums. I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to drag it to the first empty column. And once I've dragged it to the first empty column and I watch the little blue circle go round and round and round and round, I now have a whole set of drums in my computer, which I can play from here. So this is the beginning of finger drumming. That you actually have a set of drum sounds. This is the drum kit, which is called the LD, the live drums. And I choose this because it's easier for you to think of it as a drum set. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is that when you are running this on your laptop, you draw a grid for yourself. And I'm going to draw a grid. Now, my drum pads are laid out 8 by 2. Actually, it's 4 by 2, 4 by 2. So I draw myself a grid so that I can take note of what is on which pad. Otherwise, you're playing memory game. Anybody ever played memory game where all the cards are actually face down? Then you lift one up. Wait, is that the one? Then you lift up the other one. Is that the one? If your memory is great, you don't need this grid. But if, like me, you're reaching a point in your life where you've already studied too much and you can't remember everything, then you want a grid. So I know that this is a kick drum. When you have a drum set, it's the one that you step and go kick. So I'm going to write a kick. What about the next one up? This is the rim of a snare drum. So if I had those snare drums which are flat here and you go tuck, I hit the rim of it. This is the rim. So right, rim. This is like a hand clap. So right, clap. This is the actual snare. Tut, tut, tut. Here already you have the most basic parts of the beat. Kick and the snare. This is your basic, the back beat, the most basic beat that you have. So these are toms. If you saw an actual drum kit, these are the things that you roll, dum, dum, dum. Now, usually in modern music, we don't use these toms very much. It's more dum, 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 right? That kind of sound is not very common in modern music, but we write it down: tom, tom, and tom. The high tom, the mid tom, and the low tom. You don't have to memorize my layout because your layout might be different. but you just want to know where they are, right? This thing is a cowbell. Again, not something that you tend to use very often in modern music, but it's fun to have. Yeah, you could have it in the after the drop, right? In EDM. Yeah, very annoying. So this is a hi-hat. This is that thing they have at the side when it's got two cymbals one on top of each other, and when it's closed and you hit it, it sounds like this. This is called the closed hat. This is a shaker. If you ever see people carry something which looks like a can with sand in it, which I think literally it's a can with sand in it, and you go chick chick chick, it's a shaker. But I mean, you normally wouldn't see a actual live drummer with a shaker, because how one hand on the snare, one hand on the kit, how you shake it with the mouth maybe. Now this is the same hi-hat, but it's open. How do you open and close the hi-hat? There's actually a foot pedal. If you ever go near a drum set, you see when you press the foot pedal, the hi-hat opens, and you hit it, you have this open sound. It's called the open hat. Still on top, right? Now the two big cymbals on top. This is when you crash on it. It goes crash. It's called a crash. And this one at the end is the ride. The same cymbals, if you, instead of crashing it, you tap on the edge, it's called a ride, because you're riding the sound of it. This is like a bongo or some sort.
Yeah, something like that.
Spare sounds. And the last one is tambourine. So, if you want to get a beat out, you want to do that's the very basic beat. Now, with two hands, you would want to practice first getting your hi-hat. And then you would play two-handed. So you can feel that beat, right? If you wanted to do something more fast and dancey, you probably wouldn't. If you want to do something more hip-hop, R&B, is your hi-hat, you can make it more complicated by and also when you reach, after you've played like 4 bars of 1, 2, 3, 4, you can hit the crash cymbal. Sorry? Now, right now, if you actually try this on your own, your sense of timing may not be so precise. There is a metronome here in the top. The metronome, these black and white buttons, will give you a beat. Right now, the timing is 1, 2, 0. I think it's too fast. Let me press play and hear. Yeah, it's a bit too fast. Let's practice at, instead of 120, let's practice at maybe 90. So I'm going to type inside here in the 90. I press play. If you feel that when you're hitting there is some time lag, and you're wondering why is it I'm trying to play but I don't seem to be hitting on them. could be that the computer is processing the sound too slow. There is something in the options, preferences, audio, where I can reduce my number of buffers. So this one, if you need help with this, you find your timing is off, excellent. So okay, this is the basic part of finger drumming, right? Because after this, when you have gotten this right and you got yourself a sense of timing, then you start putting in other sounds which are not actual drum sounds. That's where the fun part of electronic drums is. Otherwise, if you wanted to get this kind of sound, you should actually learn drums, right? But we will practice with this now because this is the fundamental part. So go ahead, try, launch up my Ableton Live. The drum sets are all built into Ableton Live. And wait, before you drum, make sure you've got a set of pads connected to you. I'm going to lend this to, I'm going to let anybody who wants to use this, you can use this, right? You can practice on this. Anybody else need a set of pads? Here's another set of pads. And